The restaurant was noisy, filled with the clinking of glasses and the low hum of conversations. Yet at one corner table, silence sat heavy between a father and his young son. The boy's hands trembled slightly as he tried to hold his juice, and the men in the suit, perfectly polished shoes, watch worth more than the restaurant's chandelier, watched him with a mix of helplessness and heartbreak. This man was Adrian Cole, one of the most powerful billionaires in the city. His empire stretched across finance, real estate, and technology, but none of his wealth, none of his influence, had given him the ability to heal his only son. 12-year-old Ethan was born with a rare condition that weakened his muscles, making everyday tasks a battle. For years Adrian had thrown money at doctors, specialists, private nurses. He had spent millions seeking cures, but his son's condition remained unchanged. What hurt him most was not just the illness, it was the emptiness in Ethan's eyes. The boy rarely smiled anymore, rarely spoke, as though hope itself had been taken away. That night, everything changed, because of a waitress. The unexpected moment. Her name was Lily. She was young, maybe in her mid-20s, with tired eyes but a warm smile that seemed genuine in a way money couldn't fake. She noticed the boy struggling to lift his straw toward his mouth, his father stiff and helpless beside him. Without hesitation, she knelt down, her voice soft. "Would you like me to help you, sweetheart?" she asked Ethan gently. For the first time in weeks, Ethan nodded. Lily steadied the glass, helping him sip slowly. She didn't rush, didn't pity him. Instead, she spoke to him as though he was just any other kid. She asked him about his favorite color, his favorite game, what cartoons he liked. Ethan's lips curved upward in a small smile, and Adrian's chest tightened. He hadn't seen that smile in months. Adrian watched, stunned, as his son leaned toward this stranger, this waitress earning minimum wage, as though she carried something far more valuable than money, kindness. A father's awakening. Adrian found himself returning to that restaurant over the next week. Each time, Ethan lit up when Lily appeared. She didn't treat Ethan like a patient or a burden, she treated him like a boy who deserved joy. She drew pictures with him on napkins, told him silly jokes, and even balanced plates on her arms to make him laugh. One evening, after closing, Adrian stayed behind. "You have a gift," he said quietly to Lily. "You connect with him in a way I never can." Lily hesitated. "It's not a gift, sir. It's just love. Children feel it when someone cares." Her words struck him. Adrian had spent his life believing money solved everything. But here was proof that love, simple, unpolished, free, could do what money never could. Lily's own struggles. As the days turned into weeks, Adrian learned more about Lily. She was working double shifts, not because she wanted to, but because she had her own struggles. Her mother was ill, and Lily was the sole provider, barely managing to pay rent while covering hospital bills. Her shoes were worn, her hands calloused, but she never once let her hardships dim her kindness. Adrian, a man who had sat at the top of the world, felt humbled. One night, after Ethan had fallen asleep at the table, Adrian asked her, "How do you keep going? With so much on your shoulders?" Lily smiled faintly. "Because someone depends on me. And because kindness is the only thing I can afford to give freely. It costs nothing, but it matters more than anything." Challenges and turning points. Despite Lily's influence, life wasn't easy. Ethan's health began to worsen during winter. Adrian, terrified, wanted to take him to yet another specialist abroad. But Ethan refused. "I just want Lily," he whispered weakly. Adrian faced a choice. Trust his wealth, or trust this woman who had no degree, no resources, only compassion. For the first time in his life, Adrian chose something beyond money. He invited Lily into their lives, not as a waitress, not as a helper, but as Ethan's friend and caregiver. She began visiting their home after her shifts, reading stories to Ethan, helping him with small exercises, reminding him that he wasn't broken, just unique. But Lily's world soon collided with Adrian's wealth. Her landlord threatened eviction. Hospital bills piled higher. She tried to hide it, but one evening Ethan overheard her crying on the phone. He told his father, "Dad, can't we help her? She helps me." That night Adrian realized this wasn't just about his son anymore. This was about humanity. A life changed forever. Without telling her, Adrian paid off Lily's mother's medical bills. He arranged for a safe apartment, near a clinic, for them to live in. When Lily found out, tears filled her eyes. "I don't want your charity," she whispered, trembling. "It's not charity," Adrian said firmly. "It's gratitude. You gave my son back his smile. You gave me back hope. No amount of money can repay that, but let me try." From then on, Lily's life shifted. She no longer dragged herself from shift to shift, broken and exhausted. She poured her energy into Ethan's care, and in turn, Ethan grew stronger, not because his illness disappeared, but because his spirit returned. Adrian watched his son laugh, dream, and live again, all because of a woman who once served tables, the strong message. Months later, Adrian stood on a stage at a charity gala, his son in his wheelchair beside him, Lily watching from the crowd. For the first time, Adrian didn't boast about wealth, deals, or power. He told the story of a waitress who reminded him that kindness changes more lives than money ever will. He ended with words that silenced the wealthy crowd.